Hello, welcome to my channel. Greetings fiends, darklings, and on this occasion, stitchers. So this is my first Flosstube. Flosstube number 1. Yay, go me. So you'll have to bear with me. This one's going to be a little bit disjointed. It's probably going to have an awful lot more information in it as well, which won't be included in future Flosstubes. So a little bit about me as a stitcher. I have been stitching for 40 years, maybe. First started in junior school. I remember doing the usual sort of like 10 count fabric and very simple cross stitching with DMC pearl. I think is it size 5 or 8 or something. Really sort of like big thread, comes on a proper crochet ball. And then I can remember doing a garden design that was more like needlepoint type design, and that's where I learned how to do French knots, thanks to my mum. She's probably still got that somewhere, but she's also 280 miles away from me, so I'm not going to see that probably for a good 10 years. It's not likely to rear its head unless mother passes away. May she live for a very much longer time now. She's 89. Not in the best of health, but that's another story. And so then I didn't do any more stitching like that until I hit about 22. And when I eventually find the piece that I did, because it's hiding somewhere in one of my boxes upstairs, I'll actually bring it onto the vlog and show you. It was a cover kit from one of the needlework magazines, and it was fruit and flowers. It was a coaster worked on something ridiculous like 18 or 20 count fabric. And I can remember making a big mistake because I stitched with 3 threads instead of 2. Or it might have been that I stitched with 3 and it was only supposed to be 1. And I remember having to unpick a lot of it because I ran out of thread halfway through and realised my mistake. So I unpicked it all and then started again. But I still have it. It's still waiting to be framed into a coaster, because the one that came with the cover kit actually had a split right across the middle, which kind of made it pointless, because the second a cup of coffee gets spilt over, it then leaks and it spills everywhere and it goes into the coaster, and then you spoil your work and you don't want to do that. So it's still waiting to be put into a coaster. 26 years on. Is that the longest standing piece of work in progress that's finished but not been mounted? Anyway, I digress. Other pieces I've done, some of these I'm just going to drop in pictures. So I did, I think it was a Dimensions kit that was a dream catcher. I think it's called Brother Wolf. That's still waiting to be, I couldn't find it when I looked for it earlier, because I know I've got it waiting to be stitched up into a cushion. I've trolled it around with me for 21 years. I did it about that long ago. For somebody I knew at the time who I no longer associate with. He would have liked it, but we split up. But I have another friend who is a Native American, and his partner, wife, and they've said they like it and would like it, and I think they wanted a cushion or a wall hanging. I can't remember, I'll have to check. So there's that. I've done wedding samplers, I've done birth samplers. If I can find the pictures on my hard drive, I will pop them in here. I've done the Janlin Mythical Dragon Q picture. It's up on my wall out in the hallway, so I took a photograph before coming into film, and I'll pop that in here. At this point, actually, having mentioned my mum, after I got married for the first time, because I'm on husband number 2, bless his cottons, she got bored. She'd made my wedding dress, she'd made my bridesmaids' dresses, she hand beaded them all, and afterwards she was feeling a bit bored, so she stitched this. So that's now framed and hanging on the wall upstairs as well. I still have the stitching, I don't have the husband. Other pieces that I have done, so recently I've just completed this one, which is Heritage Stitchcraft Barn Owl, John Stubbs. I'll bring that in a bit closer for the picture. This is stitched on an even weave. It's taken me quite a long while to do that. I think I started it about 9-10 years ago, and then I put it away for 9 years. Picked it up again this year when I joined the Myth Magic Stitch Wars, and have finally got it completed. Now, my mother, I know, doesn't watch this, so she won't see it. It's actually been stitched for her, and it's been pressed, it's been hemmed, as you can see from the picture. I just need to stretch it over the mount board and frame it. Other bits that I've done this year, I am the UK distributor for Textured Treasures. So those of you that are coming that are aware of Textured Treasures will know of some of their work. And I have completed this year their Cape Breton Christmas. I've been waiting to do this for years. I started it 3 years ago. I got to a bit that was really challenging and kind of lost my confidence with it. So again, I picked this up again this year. Lockdown's done wondrous things for my stitching. And this is Cape Breton Christmas. Okay, I can zoom in a little bit closer. It's a mixture, so it's all counted thread work. There is, if I can show some of it closely, some of it is cross stitch. We have got hardanger in there. There's I forget all the different terms of what's in there. There's Algerian eyes. There's satin stitch. There's woven bars of various different descriptions. So I did that one. And previously to that, about 4 years ago, I stitched a piece also by Textured Treasures called Twilight. I think that's what this one is. And I hope there's no glare on this. Yeah, there is a bit of glare from the ring light, so I'll tilt it downwards. And anybody that's actually currently working on their Dawn to Dusk may be familiar with some of this design. This is one of the original designs from which Dawn to Dusk was created. This is the finished piece. So, other work in progress currently is, I've got on my frame this. I wanted to show it to you before I stitched any names or anything on it. This is going to be a wedding sampler for a friend. Again, the person that I'm doing this for doesn't look at my YouTube channel, so they won't have seen it. This was actually a chart that came in Cross Stitcher magazine back in, I think, 2002. And this is why you should keep some of the charts that you really like, even if you don't keep the whole magazine, because I sliced it out of the magazine, stuck it in a wallet. I thought that might come in useful one day. I'll actually have a go at that at some point, and then left it there for 2 years. So 12, can't count, 18 years. And then I was like, I know exactly what I could use this for. So there it is. Give you a really good sort of clear look at that. Now, the original design called for satin stitch in the ring around the back, but I didn't like how it laid. So I picked 2 of the colours that are used in it. The other thing that I also changed is the flowers. The flowers in the original design were pink, and I swapped them out for purple because that's the colour bridesmaids' dresses are. Also online is the Peppermint Purple Stitch Along for 2020. So I've been working on that as well. So this is my current piece that I'm working on, which I think is fab. I don't think I'm... Where'd that go? That's all right. I don't think that I am actually going to be doing the 2021 version. I thought this was quite good to do for this year because it's such a monumental year for everybody, but we won't go there. It has been a tough year, but it's been good to see people picking up hobbies and crafts again that other people sometimes might have sort of like poo-pooed the idea of. What else have I done? 2 Mill Hill kits. I absolutely love Mill Hill, particularly their ornament collections that they do rather than the actual framed pieces. And I try and do at least one every year. I can't show you 2 others that I do because they've actually been boxed up and put away because they're part of my Halloween decorations. So they've gone. But maybe next Halloween I'll get them out and show them to you. But I've done one of their sleighs. Let me hold that up to the screen as best I can. Which is just lovely. I've got the other 5 upstairs to do yet. And I also did one of their older charmed stockings. So this one. Oh. I can get that just there. Hopefully that was focusing on that nicely. I just love them. we have, when it comes to Christmas and the Christmas decorations out, I will have all of my Mill Hill kits out. I'll also, just for the hell of it, show you the beading that I've done. I wonder if there's a beading tube. I'll have to have a look. So, on to plans. What have I got coming up next? Right, so one of the things that I've just found actually upstairs is a half finished piece of hardanger that I was doing that needs actually to be finished off. So this is the work that I was doing. I can see that the needle's rusted in the fabric, oh dear. But I was working on this particular piece. Again, it's out of a magazine. I'll just pull the magazine out. You can see it's sort of half finished. There's picot, Algerian eyes, wrapped bars, cluster blocks, of course. Yeah, wrapped and woven bars in there. I actually really like it, no matter how scary it is to actually snip the threads. I might actually let Mr. Morti loose on that one. So the actual chart, if I can find it, was in Jane Greenoff's Cross Stitch magazine. But I couldn't tell you when. There's no indication on it of what issue number it was, unfortunately. Which is a shame. But they did it in white. Apologies for the glare here. But it was done in white and yellow. And I chose to do it in shades of green on a cream coloured background. So unfortunately, as I say, I can't actually tell you what issue number it was, which is a real shame. There's nothing on here, unfortunately, that says it. No, I'm sorry. Very old. Very, very old piece. I dread to think how long that has been in my UFOs. I'll put that one down. So that's actually in progress stuff. Finished or in progress. So plans for the future. What am I planning on stitching coming up? Christmas is coming. So I have the trusty Christmas mousse. Try saying that after you've had a couple of Baileys. The Christmas mousse by Panna. This was absolutely the rage last year. I can remember when it was first released, and I think it was last year it came out, and just everybody was going for it. And I'm not overly keen on very cutesy items, as you might tell from what I've shown you so far. But this one just appealed to me because I love Christmas. I also have Sitting Pretty, one of the Valerie Pfeiffer trios to do, which I really want to get on and do. I have an absolute love of anything and everything to do with hairs. So I've got Bothy Threads Bright Eyes to do. And isn't he just adorable? Just scruffy hair. This says quite a lot about my personality, actually, because I do like cuddly toys, like most girls, young women did, but I always loved the quirky ones, the ones who looked a bit scruffy. He's scruffy. Also on my to-do list, and now I'm not showing you everything that's in my stash yet, that'll come later on, but I've got Spooky House by Sandra Parlow, Cross Stitch Designs, published by X's and O's. You'll see this and find it somewhat familiar. Let me get it out of this bag. So, picked this up at Harrogate a couple of years ago. So there's the chart. Apologies for any reflection you're getting. And the whole of this moon is done with Krynic braid. Hang on. 052F, which is a very fine braid, but it glows in the dark, apparently. and there's rather a lot of it in the bag, so that's going to be interesting. And to actually stitch that, I have got fabric by Sparklies. It's very often I buy dyed fabric. Not very often I buy fabric at all, let's be honest. And it's an even weave, 28 Brittany, called Winter Skies. Look at that. That's fantastic. Well done, Sparklies. What a fabric is that? It's a sort of blue-grey colour. I know the light is washing that out a bit because I'm doing this in the evening rather than daytime. I hope you don't mind my rambling. So let's just try and fold that back up and put it away. Yeah, that's a fantastic fabric. So I really look forward to stitching on that. I've got a feeling it's going to be quite tricky because it's quite dark in places. Others it's not so bad. I'll put that to one side. Lastly, I've actually got 2 Heaven and Earth designs that I'm planning on stitching. It's going to take me about 4 or 5, maybe 10 years to stitch these. I'll only show you one today. The other one is by Maxine Gadd, and I haven't dragged it out of the box where I've got all of my stash, the rest of my stash, I should say. But this one is one that's going to take priority. So for those of you who haven't yet realised, I'm definitely an alternative individual on low-key makeup and jewellery, but I've got loads of rings and stuff on, and you might notice that behind me there's interesting clocks and books and all sorts. And let's just say I walk a darker path than your average person that does cross-stitch. And if you've looked at any of my other videos before coming here, you'll have seen me talk about doing home decor. One of the rooms in the house that has yet to be done is the bathroom. I've lived with worse bathrooms, but not by much, and this one really needs a lot of work. Where I'm going with this is the decor we have planned for it is, think Victorian beach with a dark twist. So one of the ornaments we have in there is a piranha skeleton. We have the ubiquitous fish ornaments, but they're fish skeletons rather than whole fish. Our planned toilet roll holder is an octopus. So it's definitely going to have a slightly warped twist to it. And this particular design, once I framed it within a sort of moisture-proof frame and glass, is the Heaven and Earth Designs Siren's Lament by Anne Stokes. I've got that to stitch. It's 88 colours. It will be 21 inches wide by 15 3/4 inches tall on a 25 count fabric. And this one I'm actually going to cheat with. I'm going to see whether or not I can cope with that. To give you a better idea, I've given 3 inches all round. Can't actually open the bag. There we go. Sometimes the Ziploc bags are difficult. To give you an idea of the size we're talking about. Okay, so it's 6 inches wider than it needs to be in all directions, but this is how big it is. It's not that big compared to some Heaven and Earth designs, but it's certainly going to be the biggest thing I have ever stitched. So you're looking at that by about that, and knock off 3 inches off the bottom. I love Anne Stokes. So to find a dark mermaid, I was delighted. I was absolutely delighted when I found the Siren's Lament itself done as a cross-stitch design. So the plan is to get this on the frame by the end of the year and start it on the 1st of January. And I will post weekly updates on how I get on. So there's Flosstube number 1. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've kept up with my decidedly mad ramblings and all my digressions. At least the animals are leaving me alone for this particular one, including the snoring cat in the corner, which I hope you can't hear. And I will see you for the next Flosstube. Goodbye.